Imagine scrolling through Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts and bam, 2016 hits you like a blast from the past. You are seeing glittery holographic scrunchies, the skinniest black jeans, boom clap drum beats in every nostalgia video. They are all there. But this isn't just a coincidence. For the start of 2026, something quite curious has happened. Now, 2016 is not old enough to be a classic, however, it is now old enough to feel nostalgic. And now people aren't just actively reminiscing, they are trying to bring it back. The BBC has even noticed this trend. It is everywhere. People aren't just now saying, oh, do you remember 2016? They are referring to it as a whole cultural moment that is worth reviving. So what exactly is going on? Like, let's be real, 2016 is not like some sort of ancient history. It was only a decade ago. But I think culturally it feels a lot longer. I mean, we have been through some very tough years in the last 10 years. 2016 was the year of viral memes before TikTok even exploded.
EA Sports.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I would say it was peak anthem pop culture. Fashion that was both chaotic and iconic. I think it was bringing in some of the noughties inspiration and bringing up a lot more recent. And of course, it was a pre-pandemic digital world. It was still chaotic, but somehow it felt simpler. None of us had lived through the pandemic, and I think we can really tell. And I think that is a massive part of the appeal for many people in their 20s and early 30s. The generation that at the moment is eating up nostalgia content. 2016 kind of represents a moment before everything started to get really messy. A moment before the algorithm overload kind of was very prominent, before trends were becoming either very mainstream or becoming lawsuits, before streaming didn't feel like some sort of civil war between platforms. It was chaotic, but it was a fun chaotic. So in 2026, we are now seeing 2016 trending. It is not just old internet vibes. It's nostalgia with some sort of intention, a feeling that by going back to 2016, we're hitting some sort of reset button. But before we go too far into it, I'm going to make this video weirdly specific and I hope you enjoy. We are going to go into why does 2016 feel so nostalgic now? What trends really defined that year? Which of those trends are actually going to come back? And why does the internet love recycling chaos every year? Let's be real, the internet never forgets, it just repackages, and often it is somewhat dramatic. Before we get into the video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We are on the road to 1,000 subs and it is such an exciting time. Any help is really appreciated and it does mean a lot. Let's get into it. So let's rewind to 2016 for a moment. Close your eyes. I mean, not literally, I need you to watch the video. However, let's picture 2016. TikTok didn't exist. Instagram was a place for aesthetic grids. Reels were not even a function back then. Vine was at a very chaotic peak. There was 6 seconds of video that somehow shaped a whole generation's humour.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Chicken strips! I'm sorry, I fell asleep while I was waiting on you to make me a sandwich.
Everyone was obsessed with clickbait culture. Viral quizzes were just everywhere, such as which Disney princess are you? To YouTube challenges that were just everywhere on the platform. That really had us asking, why are people eating hot peppers on camera? I think 2016 was really a year of peak virality without really any algorithmic suffocation. Memes spread like wildfire because there was genuine interaction with them, not because an AI told them to push the video. And I think that somehow feels refreshing compared to now. Music wise, it was just iconic chaos. One Dance was literally everywhere. You could not escape from it. And Drake was weirdly ruling the world of music. Pop stars like Justin Bieber and Rihanna were dominating the charts, while indie artists somehow had a foot in both the mainstream culture and in independent charts. And let's not forget the rise of SoundCloud rap. That raw, messy, barely contained energy that would go on to really influence a whole decade of music. I mean, politically and socially, 2016 was a lot. But culturally, there was a lot of things that we were forming that now we really look back on with proper nostalgia. Fidget spinners hadn't properly arrived yet, but glitter, holographic, everything was everywhere. And those really obnoxious Instagram captions, I'm sure you know which ones I'm on about, were again all over your feed. It was chaotic, it was very colourful, a little ridiculous, and I think that's why we're resonating so much with it now. And I think colour is something we are really deeply lacking at the moment. I mean, we spoke about the colour of the year recently. It couldn't lack colour any more than what it is. And I think the funny thing is, nostalgia doesn't just make us smile. I think sometimes it amplify some sort of absurdity. They are almost becoming like a fashion meme coming to life. People are going out and buying those really skinny jeans again. They are recreating 6-second vines or TikTok videos. And the chaotic energy from the year has somehow resurfaced. In short, 2016 was a year of memeing. Everyone was sharing little jokes and viral content.
I'm in my mum's car. Broom, broom. Country boy, I love you.
Before the algorithm really controlled the feed, it was very musical. I felt like there was music everywhere. I mean, it was Instagram captions. Just everything was dominated by some sort of music. I think we were also in a very fashionable era. As much as we probably look back and question some of the choices, I think we were making a lot more statement choices that really helped shape some of the fashion now. And I think this is where we started to become really culturally fluid. We had some of the old social media really coming to the present with the mobiles, and we were starting to bridge the gap between what social media looked like and what it used to be. And now 10 years later, we are seeing this glittery, messy, chaotic era coming back to life, because I think the internet does love to recycle things, and also we love something to really cling on to that feels positive, and 2016 for a lot of people was that year. So 2016 fashion. Apparently all the neon scrunchies and chokers and holographic bags, apparently they're all coming back, whether you are ready for it or not. Let's start with the absolute basics. Skinny jeans, the same ones that made your thighs scream. You could not move in them. They were everywhere in 2016, and they were not just for women. Everyone wore them. And now in 2026, I think we are quietly seeing the return of skinny jeans paired with the big oversized vintage t-shirts and some sort of cool sneaker. It's just a very stylish look that it is coming back. And then there were chokers. I had a very chaotic era with my chokers. There was velvet, there was lace, there was the plastic ones, there were spiky ones. You had loads of different materials strangling your neck. It was edgy but accessible, and I think most teens dabbled in some sort of fashion accessory like that. And let's be honest, when we look at the very minimalist fashion today, it does not go alongside very well. It does look sort of odd, but that is a thing I am really missing. I loved the chokers. There was the weird plastic ones, and I miss it so much. And of course, holographic everything was everywhere. Bags, backpacks, phone cases, headphones, makeup palettes, everything was full of holographic glitter. It was very much the opposite of minimalism. It was loud and you knew someone was there. And of course, the beauty trends were not left out. The glitter was everywhere. Bold metallic lipsticks, yes, it was there. Contouring became mainstream, and those big eyebrows became mainstream, thanks in part to the social media tutorials that had started trending. And messy textured hair, the I just rolled out of a festival kind of look, dominated Instagram grids. And don't forget the social media influence. I think one that we could have already picked up on already is Zoella. She ruled the YouTube and social media platforms for young girls, and the whole messy bun look and textured hair and bold lipstick, all of that was from Zoella. I watched Zoella. I think a lot of females that I know watched Zoella, and we all got tips and tricks from her.
So now that you've got your 2-day-old hair, the next thing you want to do is to simply pull all your hair up into a high ponytail, just so it's a bit more together. At this point you have quite tight hair here and a very neat bun. And you can pretty much do this until you're happy with the shape of your bun, really.
2016 was pre-TikTok domination, but Instagram, YouTube and Tumblr was then setting the tone. Your outfit wasn't just clothes, it was a mood, a caption, and a potential viral moment. Now, 10 years later, those aesthetics feel ironically cool and nostalgic and sort of memeable. I think what's so funny is just how self-aware this revival actually is. People aren't just copying, they are actively performing. Neon scrunchies aren't just cute, they are a wink to the past. A commentary on really how chaotic our early 2010s really were. And that's why it's trending. It's absurd, it's chaotic, it's fun. So if you are hoping 2016 fashion is dead, I don't think it is. By the looks of it, it is very much coming back. But something I think is most interesting to look at was the 2016 culture in general. Online culture was wild. It was the year of Vine, those 6-second iconic clips where literally one clip could make someone famous overnight. I think this is really where we started to see the rise in influencers and overnight fame. Think awkward dance challenges, absurd pranks, and everyone leaning into this humour that was really absurd and slightly painful. Memes in 2016 were definitely not polished. They weren't carefully curated for an algorithm. They were messy, raw and shareable. We had Harambe, Arthur's fist, and the distracted boyfriend concept. They were all bubbling up and the energy, of course, was chaotic. Music, of course, fueled the madness. As we said, Drake was everywhere. Adele had us crying into our coffee cups. And One Dance was everywhere, whether you liked it or not. Everyone had a Spotify playlist with Mood 2016 curated, because I don't think we just see music as a sound. It's a cultural timestamp, one that we really reminisce on and one that we really enjoy. And I'll be honest, the 2016 music was so good. I've recently been scrolling on TikTok and the amount of reacting to 2016 songs I have seen, and all the songs are so good, and it makes me feel old that they are 10 years already, and it does not feel like 10 years, but there were some amazing songs. And with all of this starting, fashion really met social media. Instagram grids were getting curated with obsessive care. Tumblr gifs were everywhere. YouTube challenges were becoming literal gold mines. And this was all before TikTok came along and turned nostalgia into a full-time algorithmic profession. The key takeaway 2016 was chaotic and fun and very easily memeable, which I think is why it is trending so much now. It really was not polished perfection. It was anything but that. And I think in 2016 we loved irony as much as we loved the chaos, and I think looking forward we would find this moment really funny. From fashion to music and memes, 2016 really created a cultural footprint that isn't just remembered, it is being recreated. So why is 2016 trending again in 2026? I think is quite simple and quite ridiculous, really. Nostalgia works best when it is just far enough away that it feels distant, but not old enough to where it is irrelevant. 2016 really hits that sweet spot. It's a decade ago, it's chaotic enough to really feel different from now, and it's recognisable enough to still be relevant. People in their mid-20s and early 30s are definitely looking back and thinking, wait, did I actually miss that? Did I miss wearing those chokers like I have said? Did we really survive that whole fashion and makeup era? As for some of us, it was quite embarrassing. And why did we think this 6-second humour would really define who we are for the next decade? I think the funny part is the internet is very self-aware. Every meme, throwback, every 2016 aesthetic reaction is a wink back to our culture. People aren't just copying the past, they are trying to relive it and revive it in some shape or form. I think we've just been through some really hard times, and 2016 did feel a lot simpler. For those of us that are really reminiscing, I think we were mostly teenagers or young adults, and the memories that we had were of course simpler ones, and now we are adults looking back on a world as well that is a lot more challenging at the moment, and we look back and we are of course filled with nostalgia, and we had no awareness of the pandemic, and kind of with a lot of political things at the moment we seem to be going backwards, and We can look back and feel a lot of nostalgia, and we can see the happiness or the fun and the chaos, and we probably want that now. It is definitely a really big trip down memory lane. Please share me your moments from 2016 that you miss the most. I do miss the chokers and really the music scene. I was into like the 1975 and Sleeping with Sirens and some of the more rock indie bands, and it was definitely an era that I miss, and it's probably a good era to be behind me as well. Please help the channel and hit the subscribe button down below. As I said earlier, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I cannot wait for you to join the journey, and if you click the little bell down below, it will notify you when I put out a new video, and trust me, the next one is a good one. 2016 wasn't just a year, it was a whole culture that we are obsessed with, apparently, again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.